That's
Republic of Kekistan.
Yeah,
this
so they
is hilarious.
so they used this symbol KEK to replace LOL. And the reason they did that was because KEK in Korean means LOL, and so it was just this little joke. Kek, KEK. Well, then somebody found out, these were people who were using Pepe, remember? It's a frog. Then people found out that Kek was an Egyptian god, and he was a frog, and he was between categories. Sort of like a transsexual, by the way. He was between categories, and so now they have this Republic of Kek, and it's ruled by this Egyptian god, whose name is Kek, who's a frog.
Hold on, go back.
We're in a period of chaos. We're in a period of chaos, and in a period of chaos, the time horizon shrinks because the outcome is uncertain.
Well, this seems to be truly embracing chaos. I mean, just that statement, the frog, the Donald Trump thing with.
So, I mean, there's rules for operating in chaos, right? Because that's when you're in the belly of the beast or the belly of the whale, and you're underwater. You're in the underworld. You're in the underworld in chaos, and so that's a really cool thing to know, Joe. So imagine that the normal world of mankind is inside that dominance hierarchy where everything is going well, because nothing abnormal is happening, and you're getting what you need and you want, and your conscious knowledge suffices, right? Okay, but then something tilts and that structure no longer works. So where do you end up? You end up in the underworld. That's what happens when your partner of 20 years has a long-term affair, and you find out about it. It's like you thought you knew where you were, but you didn't. And now that you found out, you don't know where you are. Well, when you don't know where you are, you're in the underworld. Right, and that's where the unconscious forces play. Those are the gods. That's why there's gods in the underworld. And people go to the underworld all the time. It's chaos and fear and depression, hopelessness and imaginativeness. It's everything. It's
and this
chaos.
realm is terrifying to people.
Terrifying and promising. Terrifying and promising, because dragons have gold. Because it's always, the unknown has two things. Just like the future. It's like, look out, it'll do you in. And look out, it offers everything to you. That's the underworld. That's why the hero always goes into the underworld to find a cave full of gold that's guarded by a dragon.
In The Hobbit, literally.
Yeah, well, and
Smaug.
that's Beowulf, right?
Yeah,
That's the oldest story of mankind. It's really our oldest story.
Wow.
And so that the underworld is chaos. It's chaos, and down there's all sorts of play of possibility. And the reason the frog was the guardian of chaos is because the frog is this thing that doesn't fit into categories. You see, because it's partly water, it's partly land, it's tadpole, yet it's adult, right? So it's like a fish, and then it's like an animal. It doesn't fit. And it's things that don't fit that blow apart the categories, right? Well, that's what the transsexuals do to the category of gender, for example. And that puts you in this state of chaos. It puts you in this state of chaos. And that's what we're in now. We're in a state of chaos. And so what are the rules for operating in a state of chaos? Well, as far as I can tell, the fundamental rule when operating in chaos is tell the truth, tell the truth, tell the truth. So, for example, if you...
For the people that want to navigate this successfully.
Yep. All you've got, that's what you've got as a shield and a weapon, and that's the guidepost. That's the way through. Well, and you see that in hero stories all the time, you know. So it's allegiance to the truth, but the truth is a strange thing. It's a very strange thing. Often the hero in a story has to assimilate their dark side before they're capable of telling the truth. Right? In The Hobbit, for example, he has to become a thief. Right? Because he has to get tough. That's the thing. That's the thing. Also, the thing about telling the truth is that it's not for the naive. Not at all. And partly it's because it burns off dead wood. It's partly because it hurts people's feelings. It's a sword. So you have to be a warrior.
Wow. A truth warrior. In this time of chaos.
Right.
What emerges from this?
Right. Sometimes it's catastrophe. That's the thing about these categories. They're real. They're real. And you know, the optimists that I hear say, well, the pendulum swings and then it swings back. And I think, yeah, well, sometimes it takes 100 years to swing back, and it takes a hell of a lot of people out on the way. And sometimes it never swings back at all. So, you know, sometimes people go out to fight a dragon and it just eats them, or it burns them. And that's the end of that.
Right.
And like, we're in an unstable period of time at the moment, in a transition period of some sort. I can't put my finger on it, but I know that that's partly why what I've been saying has been resonating with people.
That's
So-
a very, very important thing for people to hear. It's a very